Hi, and thanks for watching another instructional video for CSCI 1300. In this video, we will talk about partially filled arrays and how to index over an array with a loop. Why would we need a partially filled array? Well, in some instances, we might need to leave ourselves room in order to access additional elements or store additional elements as we go through the program. And we have to keep in mind that arrays are static, meaning that when we declare an array, we can't change its size after runtime begins. So what we could do is we could set a capacity or a threshold, a max size for an array, and have that be flexible. So every time we run the program, we could change the capacity as needed if we need to expand the array for a different particular task. So in this example, we're setting a capacity of size 20. And you can see that values is an array that's dependent on that size, on the constant capacity. So the first thing I want to do is I want to actually talk about what an array looks like when you declare it in memory. So I'm going to use a loop, a for loop here, to print the contents of the array. And I'm doing that by starting at 0, which is the first index position, going to 1 less than the capacity, and printing the index location and the value at that index location by using the brackets notation on the array. So this is what an array looks like when we get it straight out of memory. You can see here that it's filled with pretty much junk values all the way through. And if we wanted to initialize this, we could set the array here equal to some base value, like this, with brackets around a single base value. And what this would allow us to do is it would allow us to assign that base value to every index location. So you can see here that we've gone through and set all of those junk values to 0. So now we know that if we want to add something to that array, we have a clean array ready to go. And we don't have anything left over from a pre-process. So what I could do now is I could actually traverse over the array for some size. So say I want to only enter the first 5 entries. And what I can do here is I can say, like, as long as I haven't reached the total size of the array, and then what I can do is I can check to see if I am less than this. And in this example, I'm going to take this out because we've already set everything to 0 as a base value here. We don't need to do that inside of the array. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to initialize the first 5 values by adding 1 to whatever the index is. So that way it's always a positive number. And I will store it at some index location in the array. So values at I will take on the value of the index plus 1 for the numbers 1 through 5, or the indexes 0 through 4 in the array. And you can see here that the first 5 entries up to index 4 have been filled with those actual numerical values. We've left the rest of the array ready for some additional process that we could do at a later date. That's all for now. Thanks and happy coding.